All right, guys, welcome back to the Intangible Podcast. I'm excited to have a conversation with my guy, Richie James. You're a Super Bowl champion with the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, I missed it by this much, winning the Super Bowl when I played, man. So I hope you making sure you keep that ring and a trophy, looking at it from time to time, remember what you've done, because that's a special thing. It's hard to do, and I never got back there. So, but also you were drafted by the San Francisco 49ers, 7th-round draft pick. You played for the 49ers, the Giants, the Chiefs. You had a career year with the Giants with 57 catches, 569 yards, 4 touchdowns, Middle Tennessee standout wide receiver, known for your versatility, not just as a receiver, but as a return specialist, which I'm looking forward to really diving into. Welcome to the Intangible Podcast, my friend.
Hey, I'm glad I'm here. It's a lot.
Yeah, man. It's always fun to kind of look back over guys' careers, man, because I know for a lot of us, it's hard for us to kind of go back there and look at it because we're just kind of keeping our eyes forward on what's the next thing. But I think it's always important to remember, what we've done, hear from somebody else and be like, okay, all right, and those are the things that continue to fuel you to those next stages of life. So really excited to have you on, man. As I tell everyone, we jump on this podcast, purpose of this podcast is to talk about these intangibles, these things that have made us who we are, so that we can start to share our experiences with younger athletes and parents, because we've been there, we've done that, and how we've now, used that foundation, not just for sports, but transitioning those things into different parts of life, whether that's being a father, being a brother, son, and whether you're working in as an entrepreneur or working for a company, that foundation is transferable. So before we get into all of that, man, I want you to kind of jump in and take us back to growing up in Sarasota. What was that like? Childhood with your family? I like to start with that early upbringing.
It was fun, man. It was interesting because the fact that I grew up in the project, so everything we did was outdoors. Everything from jumping on moving trains at that, just trying to explore and be free. The only time you go in the house is when the street lights come on. So that was just the life of just growing up in the projects and playing football on a big field, as we call it. Yeah, man, it was a lot going on, riding bikes, just outside and just trying to explore and just see what the world offers.
Did you grow up with siblings? Was your mom strict? Dad? Take us through your upbringing there with your family, and how did that kind of structure or lack of structure kind of get you into football?
So I grew up in the household with one sibling, but my dad had kids outside of my mom. So we had about 5 of us, I believe. It's like 5 of us total. Growing up with them, I kind of was always outside. They kind of let me roam free and, do what I need to do and kind of grow up a little bit. And so the structure, I wouldn't say it was there, but it was there, but it wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? In the sense of like, I can kind of do what I want to do. And I kind of had the discipline to, figure out where I need to be and where I shouldn't be,
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Family structure is a little different when I was growing up, at least, because I lived in the project. So it was just like, we can't go too far anyways.
Right. Yeah, I know what that's like. Now, when did you start to get into football? What age? And then when did you realize that football could be something that can take you somewhere?
I've been playing football since I was 5. And I mean, it started in the big field. We call it big field. To me, it was a 100-yard field, but I don't know how big it was because when I got older, they tore it down. They tore the projects down and built some new ones. So I don't know how big the field was, but we call it the big field. That's what everybody, hey man, I'm going to play football on the big field. So It started in a big field, but like I don't know how big this field was. It was probably like maybe like 50 yards or whatever. So, and that's my love for it started, I would say.
Yeah.
And just playing with older kids and hey man, I want to play with him, bro. Hey, Jit right there, nice. They say Jit right there, nice. You know what I'm saying? So, just getting recruited by the older kids, that's when you started getting the love. Feeling that love with it. Making the older dude miss, you're like, oh, okay, okay. Oh, hey, he hard, bro. He raw. But no, he's been playing since I was 5. Though, ever since I was 5.
Yeah, nice. And when did you realize that football could be something that can get you out of the projects and take you to give you some different exposure in life?
To be honest with you, I didn't know until my junior year of high school.
Yeah.
It took me to my coach, my high school coach, to say, you can get a scholarship to play at the next level. And I played NCAA, growing up a little bit, but I didn't know how to get there. I didn't know about college. A lot of people in my family didn't go to college, so like no one was telling me, "Hey, this is what you can do. This is what you can't do." And I just love playing football. I didn't think any much of it. I just want to play football. So. My coach was like, hey, if you keep doing what you're doing, you got good grades, somebody's going to recruit you. You know what I'm saying? That's how you go to the next level. They get you free, pretty much free everything. Your room, board. So I'm like, oh, okay, well, we ain't really got it like that.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to get it like that.
Yeah.
So, what can I do? So I started like, going harder,
Yeah. And so when you start to go hard, at what point in your high school career you start to get noticed by these schools, and then once you start to get noticed, what made you decide to come to Middle Tennessee State?
I didn't get an offer until my senior year of high school. And, I had coaches tell me, hey, film, you need to show us some film, like, you running routes. And I'm like, okay, so I had my coaches or, players that was with me film me running routes and send it to these schools. And, they didn't even offer me. But I was out there 6:00 in the morning trying to run these routes and, you know what I'm saying, trying to get this film out to these coach and whatever. But that didn't happen. And then Coach Stock out of Middle Tennessee, eventually came around. And from my, remembering, like, for some reason, he was always stuck in my head through the whole process. But like from my memory, he came around, like, and he was just like, yeah, you're going to be a Middle Tennessee State Blue Raiders. I'm like, all right, okay, I hear you, coach, but I'm committed to Georgia Southern now. You know what I'm saying? I'm committed to Georgia Southern right now. At this point, I'm committed to Georgia Southern for corner. And,
okay.
At this point, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to Georgia Southern. They just beat Florida. Matt Britt is there. You know what I'm saying? Jack McKinnon is there. These guys who I end up playing with in the league anyways, but they there. I end up going to official visit there and everything. So I'm like, I'm all in on Georgia Southern. Like, and, Florida kid, why not go to Georgia's right there? So, somewhere through the process, Coach Stock was just saying like, hey, look, man, just come to Middle Tennessee and see what happens. So I ended up going to Middle Tennessee. Went up there, loved it, enjoyed my visit. Came back home and said, yeah, I gotta go to Middle Tennessee. I ended up going to Middle Tennessee. Yeah, it was on.
Yeah. Did you ever think getting to Middle Tennessee that you would become the go-to receiver? Or did you just have your head down, just like, I just need to get there and then I'll figure it out when I get there? Or did you have a game plan on the front end? When I get there, this is what I want to do?
Well, they were recruiting me as an athlete, so I didn't know what I was going to do when I got there. But I figured to myself, like, since I didn't want to go play corner at Georgia Southern, I was going to play somewhere on offense. And I played running back all my life pretty much until I got to high school because I was way too small. I was literally 4'9", 95 pounds. Like, I was way too small to be trying to play running back in high school. So they moved me to slot. That was like the only position that can really like save me and, still get a chance to get the ball in my hands. But when I got to Middle Tennessee, I just went crazy throughout the spring and all that stuff. And I just remember like nobody can really tackle me. You know what I'm saying? And back then they were getting physical, like so. Like we were going head up, whatever in college, you know what I'm saying? Oh, tackle drills in college, but I was making everybody miss. But I was behind a senior at the time, and Coach Stock was like, "Yo, we gonna need you for 4 years." You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna have to redshirt you. So I'm like, "Dang!" Like, I just remember going back to my dorm and just crying. Like at the time, I was like, "Yeah, all right, Coach, I got you." But I remember going back to my dorm and like, "Man, I got to sit out for a year, man. This is crazy, man. I came over here, I did everything I needed to do to play, but I didn't have a red shirt." And then it was like, "Yeah, we're gonna need you." But I ended up playing receiver. They ended up putting me at receiver. But I played anything they wanted me to play.
Yeah,
so running back, quarterback, whatever.
Do you feel like redshirting prolonged your career? Did you feel like it got you ready to compete, to be the go-to guy?
Honestly, I think I should have played right away, but I understood, how it went. But as a young dude, like you kind of don't, you just get in there. You don't want to step on nobody's toes, but at the same time, I wanted to fight it. Like, man, I can't believe this. I don't want a red shirt. I think I'm better than this guy, whoever this guy is. Like, I don't put it, whoever, you know what I'm saying? But I think it took me I think I was ready, but
yeah,
the way the game goes, they had a senior in front of me. I had somebody that been there in the program for a while. You know what I'm saying? So, that was respect. It's like, all right, well, if I was a senior, I've been there for a long time, and this young guy come in and they just give him my spot, I would be mad. But obviously, he's good. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time.
So how did you approach that? How do you make that red shirt year? How did you approach it? Did you approach it with a chip on your shoulder? Did you approach it with a?
Yeah. You know how it is. It was when it was like, yeah, I'm about to go crazy. Like I'm gonna make sure like I come back, I'm gonna be more ready than ever. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be so ready, like it's not even gonna be possible. Like coach gonna be like, yeah, we gotta play this guy. Like, and we're gonna give him the ball. And that's what happened. I was throwing the quarterback, all season. I didn't go home. You know what I'm saying? All the other kids go home. Like I stayed at the school. Plus I didn't have the money to go home. You know what I'm saying? So I stayed at school for the most part. And it was the quarterback, we became, really good friends, and, we just had that good connection. And by the time we got to the game and it was our time to do it, it was over with.
Yeah. Well, Rich, you end up making a stellar name for yourself there at Middle Tennessee State. You're the go-to guy, and you put yourself in a position to get drafted. And now you're sitting here, you're at draft time. You end up getting drafted in the 7th round. You hear your name called. You're almost the last pick, man. And and your name get called. What was that moment like for you? And I'm thinking about it because I had a guest on yesterday, and that was one of his things is that, one of his biggest, regrets or feelings was not hearing his name called. What was that moment like for you?
Well, it was nerve-wracking for me anyways, because when I initially came out, I was getting told that I was going to have, a different grade than what I got drafted. So it was like one of those things like, man, I didn't know I was going to draft it here. But just to hear my name called in general, I was like, all right, it's time to go. Like, you know what I'm saying? I ain't wasting no time. You know what I'm saying? That was my mindset. I'm not wasting no time. I'm drafted late. And I didn't know, like, at the time, like, getting drafted late, what that really entailed. You know what I'm saying? I really had no clear idea of, like, how hard it is to be a guy drafted late. You know what I'm saying? Until I got there, I was like, you gotta work crazy hard. Like, God, I'm used to getting everything right. I'm used to being that guy. I'm used to being, oh my God, all right, say less.
Now you're in the NFL, and now you realize as a 7th round draft pick, man, I gotta work. So how did you approach that? Was it a chip, or was it, all right, I got to go get this bag?
Well, it was more like I didn't think about the money. Like, it's again, like even when I got there, like it was more so like I love football so much. Like I didn't know how the money worked. I didn't know nothing. Like I was just like, I love football so much. Like I just want to play football. You know what I'm saying? So it was more so like, well, what am I doing? Like, am I playing receiver? Like, you know what I'm saying? I didn't have no clue. Like, and obviously I'm playing receiver. I got drafted as receiver, but it's like, I've heard that I'm going to just be a returner, like, which I did return, but I wasn't like somebody that was my main focus in college. You know what I'm saying? I did it to kind of always get the ball in my hands. And, you know, that was another touch for me pretty much. So I had a little, you know, I can do it a little bit, you know what I'm saying? So when I got there, it was that chip of like, hey man, I'm just trying to be on this field. Like, I don't know what I need to do, but give me a playbook. I'm gonna be in that playbook as much as I can. Like, I know it's a new system. Like, I know I'm in the NFL now, but it's still football. But just give me the playbook, and I'm just trying to learn as much as I can. How much I can learn, and you know what I'm saying. Just get me on the field. That's all I'm trying to do is get on the field.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate you answering that way, man. Because you know, again, when we're in this era where you know money is everywhere, and I think we forget to chase the game, and just hearing the love that you have for the game, you wasn't even caring about any of that stuff. It's like that stuff is going to come, you know, because if you keep it the main thing, then the other ancillary things that comes along with the game is going to be there for you. So it makes me think. In that position of like, all right, I got to get out here. I got to get on this field. Give me the playbook. You know, as a 7th round draft pick, what did you feel like you had to prove right off the bat?
I can play. That's period, point blank. Can you play? And to be honest with you, like perfecting the game and perfecting the craft, that was the hardest part, you know, transitioning from college to the NFL for me, because I didn't have a receiver coach. And I had a receiving coach, but you know, things didn't work out, and plus it was only for a year. And you know, you don't really have the time,
right?
Like as a receiver coach in college to actually teach someone how to do something, especially you know throughout the year and you know whatever. But so I didn't learn the game of football, receiver football. Like just been a receiver, a pure receiver until I got to the NFL. So like proving that I can play was the main thing. Can you play a receiver? Like, you know what I'm saying? Because being a running back or, you know, being a quarterback, that was something I did for the most of my part, you know, of my life. And I can adjust to that, at least the running back part of it, at least, you know, but the quarterback, at least, you know, I ain't gonna say I'm a quarterback out here, but like, just playing receiver, this the hardest part is like, can you play the game?
Well, you have a lot of dynamic going on there in your experience playing running back, playing punt returner, kick return. You're doing all these different things, and so being able to just finally get to a place where you can focus on a couple of things is a huge change for you. And now you get a chance to do that and get the right coaching to excel at that position. Then you do, you know. So when I think about being a 7th round draft pick, you know, what separates guys like, you know, who are late round draft picks from the guys who actually stick around, or the guys who actually, you know, most likely disappear when they get drafted late in that round?
Well, to be honest with you, like I just the work, you know what I'm saying, you put in, to be honest with you, and just being healthy. And then, you know, taking in that knowledge from the older guys that have done it. That I think that, you know, that helps. And just being coachable, not just from the coaches, but from the people that have done it. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't scared to ask questions. Learning the game and soaking it up as much as I can.
You know, I'm glad you said that, because I have a question around that is, you know, I talk to a lot of kids now, you know, in high school and you know, a lot of different positions. And, you know, I asked them, who are they watching? to get better? Are they watching their peers? Are they watching, guys at the college level or the pro level? And it's always kind of like, oh, just a guy at the pro level. And I asked the question, like, do you think you can learn some from some of your teammates, some of the guys that are around you that can help you excel your game? And this generation is not really thinking about, how do I look at the people around me as well as someone who plays at the next level, because there is a progression to it. So just to jump to look at a guy at the pro level at high school, yes, that's the model that I want to be. But now how do I get myself systematically in a progression to get there? What's your advice for young athletes to, start thinking about making sure that they're not just looking at the elite, but also what can I take from someone around me, from their game, that I can add to my game to keep improving that I don't do well?
Well, take your time. First of all, it's a reason why we're in the league. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot of stuff that comes with the game, and it's a game within the game. So as you get older, or you start out playing, like, the game is very slow, but it gets faster as you get to the next level, and it gets faster. So just take your time, focus on, getting the proper footwork. Like, all these kids want to do the fancy, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Instead of just getting the basic footwork down, you know what I'm saying? Like, just flick, whatever, how you get your, you know what I'm saying? Wherever that is, just getting that basic fundamental stuff down first. And then you start adding on to your game, and, putting more to your bag and all that stuff. Because at the end of the day, it was like, some of these kids don't even know when, like, to catch the ball over their shoulder, or whether to turn around and jump. Like, you know what I'm saying? That timing of when to just block a defender out instead of trying to, not a kid trying to do what they're doing, a head top, whatever they're doing. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, the game has changed now, a lot, but they want to jump to the conclusion. You know what I'm saying? Instead of just taking it. Yeah, instead of just taking it one step at a time. And you can learn from your teammates. I think that's the best way to learn, especially like when you're in like a group setting, and you were especially in practice. Like, hey, coach talking to him, but I heard what coach said. I'm gonna try to do something totally opposite, or a little bit better. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how you compete with yourself, but you compete with other guys too, without not necessarily telling you to compete with them. But like, that's how you learn it. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then you telling them, like, hey, bro, like, hey, that's what coach said. Like, you know what I'm saying? Or I peep where, what happened over here. Like, cause I ain't stingy with the game. I'll tell you what's going on.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I'm never going to be stingy. I'll tell you how to get it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to be like, oh yeah, this guy taking my spot. I ain't gonna be that stingy guy. So it's like, hey, I'm learning too, bro. We all learning. We in this together. At the end of the day, we all trying to win, right? We're trying to win the game, get to the Super Bowl, and, and win it.
Yeah, which you did. We gonna talk about that. But so Richie, I've never. I mean, I'm a lineman. I've never had to stand back there and look up and catch a punt with somebody bearing down on me. What take me through that. What's that mental demand where returning kicks, you gotta feel the ball and then be able to look down and make a move and make sure you secure the ball. Like, what is that mental gymnastics like?
I can tell you right now, there's a lot going on back there. There's a lot to think about back there. Now on a serious note, it's something that, like, honestly, I like doing it. It wasn't my favorite thing to do, but that's how I stay on the field. So I had to do it. Yeah. And I just made something out of it. And try to, the only thing about it is just what makes it hard is if you really can't mess up. Like, that's the only position on the field where you can't really mess up.
Yeah.
Like,
So even just that though, right there, man, like, how do you prepare knowing that one mistake could change the whole game?
The whole game, field position, muff punt, like any one little, you change the whole game. And it can change. It can mess you up. Like, as a person, like, now that you, as a the next game, if you still got to go back there and do it again, like, and you front it, and it just happened. You've seen it on film, you've seen it on TV, you've seen it everywhere.
Right.
So now you got to go back there and do it again. Don't let you, you know what I'm saying? Don't let you do it in the same game. Like it's hard. You know, I would say like for me, I've done it. You know, I've muffed 2 punts in the game before, and it happened. Not muffed 2 punts. I've muffed one, and then I think or 2 fumbles in the game. I would say I forgot what happened, but that's his thing. You try to blank it out as much as you can.
Block it out. Yeah.
But yeah, like. Yeah, you know, it happens, and it's a hard job. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's one of the things where, you know, I salute anybody that does it. It's one of the hardest things as far as like you gotta catch the punt first of all. That's the one thing. Catch the ball. That's the one thing. Catch the ball. But just tracking the ball, you know, being there, and knowing who is in front of you, knowing what, you know, where you not supposed to go, where the track is gonna be at. Shoot, you know, who's that guy on who's that gunner on the team that's coming. Like a demon that is
coming.
He's gonna always be on the field right in your face by the time you catch it. So it's just like, you know, you put 3 people on him, he's gonna be there. Yeah. Which is another job that I salute anybody that does.
Are you back there like just not thinking? Or are you back there using tools where you're breathing, you're taking deep breaths, you're like talking to yourself? Because I could imagine, like, how do you keep that anxiety down when you know there's a lot on the line?
Well, to be honest with you, I try not to think until the ball's in the air. Meaning, like, I'm back there I'm looking around, I'm like, all right, yeah, we back here. Like, we on the field, like, dang, shoot, I mean, it's another game. Like, this is crazy. Like, I'm on TV again, like, living out a kid's dream, trying to be a kid again. Like, you know, just trying to relive that moment. Like, dang, like, I'm out here. You know what I'm saying? Like, but then I get the ball, you know, I get serious when I try to lock in as much as I can when I get, you know, the ball's kicked and you're like, all right, what we need to do?
Yeah. I
need to get how many yards? Like, all right, where are we going at? You know what I'm saying? Whatever. So,
yeah,
I do a little breathing a little bit, but it gets serious back there. I would say it just gets serious. It gets real.
Absolutely. Well, Richie, that was great, man. We're going to take a quick little 2-minute segment here. I like to do a little quick rapid fire 2-minute before it's like that 2-minute going into halftime. So I'm going to hit you with some rapid fire questions. So don't think, just let it rip. All right. You ready for this? All right. The hardest stadium you've had to play in.
Ooh, you know what? I'm gonna give it to you guys back there. I'm gonna give it to Seattle.
Yeah.
They got my number. They got my number. I ain't gonna lie to you. That's the only thing. They got my number, but I broke that curse. Like, you know, I would say that I broke that curse. You know, I like get into that anytime you want to. So, but yeah, they got my number.
All right. Best defensive back you face. One of the best defensive back you face.
Well, not a lot of action, but just seeing like Jason Verrett and Richie James of boys in practice.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard. It's hard to, you know what I'm saying? But then in college, I played against Javarius Ward. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's more in practice that I've been on teams where like the best defensive players that, you know, Sneed and McDuck, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've been on teams where I'm seeing them, you know, versus actually playing against a live action, because usually I'm not on the outside.
Right.
You know, so using the slot, and I don't really see too many slots like that. There's some good slots, don't get me wrong. I'm not like, you know, but like I've seen some guys, K1 Williams, like, you know, I've seen some guys over the years.
Yeah, that's what's up. All right. One lesson that you learned with the 49ers or the Chiefs that taught you about winning.
Ooh, that's a good one. Self. The most selfish. You got to be selfless. You like that's the right word I'm looking for. Like, you got to be like, you can't be I. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like, the only way you're gonna win this game is like, you got to put your body on the line for the next guy.
Yeah.
You know, just being a block, especially blocking in San Francisco. Like, that's the only way you're going to get the ball. To be honest with you, like, if you ain't blocking, you might not be on the field. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be a good blocker. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I would say just being that type of guy that just, you can't be all about you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Hey, I'm cutting this clip and I'm sending it right to my son. I tell him all the time. He plays receiver. Hey man, you're not touching the field unless you can block at the next level. So just get your mind right.
That's it. That's it, man. You gotta take blocking serious, man. Like, especially you don't want to be the guy that the corners, makes the tackle, or the safety, or makes the tackle on the running back, and when it could be a home run,
Right.
Now you got to sit in the meeting room the next day, like, dang, man. That was me, man. I should have got that block. And not coach looking at you like.
All right. What did the Giants season in 2022 teach you about your confidence?
Well, it taught me I know I can play. It's the thing about it is situational. I just believe truly, like, in situation, you give somebody 100 catch or 100 targets a year, he can do something with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you get high. It's like a basketball player. You get hot. It's like you get a feel for the game again. That you're in the league for a reason. I was good in college. I got 100 catches a year at one point. So it's just, you give me 100 targets, I can
do what it do. Yeah.
Yeah, I can do something.
Yeah.
And I can do it. That's what taught me. I can do it. What I'm saying? That's all they taught me.
Most dependable position on the field.
Yeah. Like, just give me the ball. I can do it.
Yeah. All right. Give me one veteran that you've been around that helped you early in your career, extend your career.
I would say Pierre Garçon.
All right.
I would say Pierre Garçon.
All right. Last one for you. One habit that kept you in the league.
Eating right.
Taking care of that body, man.
Eating right. I ain't gonna lie to you. That body, man. Just the fact, like, I started feeling a difference when I ate right for a long time, and then I ate like, crap, the next day, or what I'm saying, one day, and then the next day I feel like, hey man, I kind of feel a little different, like, but it's the food, like, what I'm saying? It's like, dang.
Yeah. That go-go juice.
Yeah.
All right, man. I appreciate those. Those are awesome, man. We're going to jump back in. We got several more questions for you, but, when you start thinking about that, the end of your career, you go out on a high note, man. You're in your career as a Super Bowl champ with the Kansas City Chiefs. Take us through that experience. And did you think that was it for you? Once that curtain closed.
No, it's a lot. That's like a whole conversation within itself. As far as like, I had my mind, I want to play 10 years, but unfortunately,
that's the magic number.
My knee, my knee just never, it just never healed correctly. And I just was fighting it for some years. And, that 2023 season, shout out to the Chiefs for giving me a chance to even, be on an elite roster.
It's a crazy dichotomy, man. Like that competitor inside you. It's like, I'm happy for this, but this competitive piece of it is like, man, I want to make sure that I'm contributing to this as well. So
yeah, like,
I get that. I get that.
Yeah, I was just on that team. You know what I'm saying? Like, and obviously I felt like I had a lot to do with why I wasn't getting the ball early on anyways, because at the end of the day, like, I was still hurt. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think they knew that in their head, but I was still hurt. Like, just plain hurt, and sadly that's how the game goes. I remember my surf out there, I got hurt, and I'm just trying to hold on as long as I can, and I did it.
Sometimes the way the cookie crumble. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I won the biggest one, and I never won a big one. So I never won a championship game in my life. You feel me? So it's just like, dang, like, it took me all these years, 20-some years of playing football, never got to win a real big game, and never got to be in the big game. and I'd have been in the
Man.
biggest game and when, you know, I had a chance to
Here we
win
go.
it.
Yeah. So what was that? What was the Chiefs culture like? You know, what made them so different there?
Hey man, anybody that goes and plays for the Chiefs for a whole year, it start off right off the bat. Like I'm talking about real deal work. Like it's real deal Holyfield. Like it feels like college in a sense.
Okay.
Like that old school grind. Like you go into training camp, like you stay in college dorms. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like it feels like real muddy, like real gritty out there. Like you know what I'm saying? So it's like, dang, like we out in 110-degree weather and full pads and we get it in like, and it's long days and you know what I'm saying? It's back to back to back to back. So I think just that work of just like everybody want to be the best and everybody want to compete. And
Right.
it's a lot of talking going on, to be honest with you. Like, what are you talking? Like, I ain't gonna lie to you, there was a lot of talking and a lot of like, you know, hey, bro, like, I'm about to get on you. You feel me?
It's a grind, man. It's a grind. Well, man, you walk away from the game at 29 years old with the knee injury, and we talk about this a lot on this show. The transition. How was the transition for you? Was you at peace with your decision to walk away from the game? But then also, what was the anxiety or maybe peace was like stepping over into the new arena, the arena called life, the real world. So as they say.
To be honest with you, like it took me a while to adjust. I'm not gonna lie to you, like, because that's all I did. I never had a job. Football was my only job. So like, I didn't know what it was like outside of football. You know what I'm saying? So for me, like that transition was more so like, dang, what is it? Who am I outside of football anyways? You know what I'm saying? Like, I never got to figure that person out because I was so locked in with football. Like even, off season, like you get a month off, but that's not enough to, figure out who you are as a person.
Right.
And it's hard to kind of balance up, life and football when that's all I know. You know what I'm saying? That's all I know.
Yeah.
And so I don't know how I'm able to even mentally, be here, don't crash out, to be honest with you, because I didn't have that guidance, but I just kind of took on the pieces and stuff I learned from, guys that are in the league, you know what I'm saying? That, hey, bro, this is what happens after football. Like I heard, and they probably heard that from the guys before them, you know what I'm saying? Like, or, even having a conversation with old heads that walk around the building sometimes that played the game for a long time. They come back and help teams. And it's like, hey, man, it's different outside of football. You're done with football, but you ain't done. Like, you're done. You physically, you can't go out there and do it. The coaches ain't nobody calling you no more. You know what I'm saying? But you ain't done.
Your
Like, you know what I'm saying? Mentally, I'm like, dang, like, I mean, for a whole year and a half, like I was having sweats. You know what I'm saying? I wake up in the middle of the night like, well, I just played. Ooh, I made a crazy catch. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like just like thinking I'm, just waking up like not having that. I got to go to treatment at 6:30. You know what I'm saying? Like, got to get up, and so it's like adjusting to that. Oh, I can sleep into 8, 9. Man, that's hard. I can't do it. I still can't do it to this day. I can't sleep that long. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm always, I get up and like, nah, I really can't sleep that long anyway. It's my daughter. I got a daughter, I got 2 kids, so I really can't sleep that long anyway. So,
oh no, Dad, let's go time.
Yeah, so boy, what? So the sun come up, boy, a little peak is over with. But just that adjustment outside of football is like, I'm still in that process, basically.
Yeah. Are you? We talk about this in the sense of that foundation from football, being able to carry that over in the transition. What do you think football has given you that is starting to help you rebuild your foundation into this new arena?
Just the discipline part of it, as far as like just being on time with just the little stuff, like my daughter's appointments, my appointments, and trying to be, instill that in my kids, like well, obviously they're 1-4, so it's hard to, really, but it's
Yeah.
like, hey, I'm trying to start young. Like I'm gonna be, hey,
Yeah.
no, yeah. But anyways, yeah, I think it just carries out the field too. Especially when you talking with people, just how you talk to people, how you carry yourself, because well, I've been taught, you are your own business. So,
Right.
just how you handle yourself, how you talking to anybody, shaking hands with people, and just connecting with people. That's what football is all about too. Just making that connection with people too.
Yeah. Well, man, I know the transition are hard, and I hear that you're still working toward trying to figure out what that piece looked like for you. I always know that you got a resource here with me. We've got a great network of former guys and people that have surrounded us outside of the game that could be a resource for you in that, because I know it's not easy, but. Like you said, there's a foundation there. There's the discipline. There's the things that you've learned that carries over, and that's the important pieces for us to make sure that we also realize those intangibles. And so, with that, if you can go back to your 7th round draft pick moment, when the league was just the beginning of things, what would you say to your younger self to help you understand the journey that you were about to embark on?
When they say don't put all your eggs in one basket. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I know I didn't have no other baskets. So, like, I had this one, that's all I had to do. You know what I'm saying? But I could have created more relationships with the right people.
Mm.
And actually, like, watered those relationships at this point. And I just, planted the seeds, and that was it. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, man, I'm here, or you here, whatever. I would definitely tell myself, like, hey, make sure you have that plan in place of what are you going to do? What are you going to do when it's all said and done? Like, because at the end of the day, it doesn't last long. You hear it, but you as a kid or as a young one, you like, man,
you're not thinking about that.
I've been playing football for so long, bro.
Yeah.
Like, my body can hold up. Like, man, I'm not worried about this.
Yeah.
Like, these dudes lasted 2, 3, 2, 1. You know what I'm saying? It's like you talking about it. Like, oh, these dudes ain't lasting. But you realize, like, nah, bro. Like, you've been playing for that long. That's how long your body's getting beat up. So you got to think about it. You ain't got that much longer.
Right.
You're going to get older. Like, you're going to slow down just a little bit, my brother. Like, you might be athletic all your life, but you're going to slow down. Like, and I didn't realize that, So I would tell myself definitely, like, yeah, man, hey, we want to take care of your body too. Like, it's the resources are there. Use them, start early and, get a head start, man. Can I ask you a few questions before you dip on me?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, man. So you say you played too, huh? I see you at Seattle back there. So
played for 10 years.
Yeah,
drafted. I was Seattle's first round in 2005. Played there for 6 years and went to Chicago for 2, and then I finished my career with the Tennessee Titans. I think I got a couple of those still back there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm old, man.
What year
old.
You was in Seattle?
I was in Seattle from 2005 to 2010, so I played 6 seasons there.
So you was playing with Alexander.
Yep, Sean Alexander, Matt Hasselbeck, Walter Jones, Steve Hutchinson.
That was my favorite running back of all time. And then like
SA, man.
LT just came and took over my life.
Yeah, man. Yeah, SA had, man, SA, I've never been around a running back, up until that, to playing with him that had unbelievable field vision. Man, his field vision was just
crazy.
Like, gosh, man. Some of the things you sitting here watching film, you're like, man, how did he see that? And so,
yeah.
He was
man,
that
that's
dude.
crazy. First round. So you based in Tennessee now, huh?
Yeah, I'm here in Nashville. Been here. When I finished my career with the Titans, I decided to stay here. Yeah, and
hey man, Nashville, that's not a bad place. It's grown, man.
Grown like crazy. Got 3 kids. They all playing sports.
Okay.
You got a 16-year-old, a 14-year-old, and a 13-year-old, and man, it's busy. Life is busy.
Yeah, life is busy. You got the podcast going. Yeah, a lot going on right now.
Yeah. Work. I got a technology company. That's what we do.
Okay.
Our technology platform. We analyze people's language and build personality and behavior profiles, and it's again leaning into those intangibles that we got the chance to develop. Based off how we grew up, and now this younger generation don't have that, and so using our technology platform to meet them where they are, and they're behind their screen anyway. So let's let's show them where they are with these different tangibles like coachability, character, leadership, composure, their communication style, their thinking style. Show them how to improve, things to watch out for. How does that show up in a team dynamic? And so that they can then have starting their new foundation early. So that when they get done, not like me, when I got done, I was like, man, who am I? What do I do? How do I do this? And then learning that, the things that has kind of carried me over into entrepreneur and doing the work that I do now has been those intangibles. And man, okay, I know in my leadership skill, I was a center. So center had to know everybody's position, had to be the communicator, had to be the glue to the line. And so, okay, I got a strong foundation there. Okay, well, even, as an offensive lineman from a composure standpoint, I had to keep my composure, and not just go off the rails. And so, then my thinking style, like, okay, entrepreneur works for me because, again, playing center, I had to see all these different safeties moving, the linebackers, and now I can see things in a puzzle and move things around and problem solve, And so started to lean into learning about what my intangibles were and looking at my foundation. I was like, oh, shucks, okay, I'm prepared to do this. So now when it was time for me to take that leap and that leap of faith into, entrepreneurship, I had to rebuild that identity around those intangibles, so that now there's going to be challenges. Hard. It's not easy, but now I had that piece that I can like stand on and say, okay, I know I can get to the other side of it. And so that's why all this stuff is important to me, because I had to go through it, and now I'm in a place where it's, I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for those hard times and the challenges. I'm thankful for going and learn it, but I'm also at that place where, man, I want someone else to learn this early before it's too late. And again, it's never too late, but I don't want people to feel that pressure like I felt, if I just starting it early. So that's what we spend a lot of time doing, man. Just trying to make sure that
it's big time.
Give back
that's
into
right
that space. So yeah,
it's the right thing though. I mean, like you're saying, it's one of those spaces where like a lot of it's the guidance that a lot of these kids aren't receiving.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? They're not receiving the right guidance. And that's where it's hard, especially if we got so many athletes. A lot of kids want to be athletes still to this day. Right. You don't get a lot of, I want to be doctors anymore, or where I want to grow up. A lot of kids want to be athletes now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So,
and it's not, it's not a lack of guidance in the sense that, people don't want, parents don't want, or, people who are guiding kids don't want. Is the lack of exposure, the lack of experience. Like, we get to do this because we get to talk about this because we lived it, we experienced it. We know the deep internal struggles that we have on the onset of, leaving the league, knowing that your mind is still there, but your body's like, can't go no more. And then knowing that those feelings of loneliness and all that sets in as you do make that loneliness feeling, even when you're in the game and you're injured and you can't, contribute to your team, we experience it. So we get to speak from that place versus someone who is speaking from it, who's never experienced it. It just hit different, coming from us. And so, so that's why even this podcast, man, I really appreciate you jumping on, sharing, because it's so important to hear from people who lived it and not just someone who always had it figured out, but, we grew up in the projects. I grew up in the projects, and, and now you also now become that beacon of light for others that, they get to look at someone who didn't have it all figured out, didn't have the, the nice things, but they still figured out that they didn't allow their circumstances to hold them back. And so, it's a lot buried into this whole process. So
it's funny you say like circumstances being like held back, because like, and that just like hit my brain so crazy. Cause like just going from the projects, like, and having like, knowing that it's kind of most kids or most people don't make it out, and having that mindset, like you get told that. Sometimes you get told that, bro. Yeah, you ain't gonna be nothing when you grow up or whatever.
Exactly.
It's like, damn, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And sadly enough, I've had that experience in the NFL. Like
Yeah.
Or coach told me that I don't know how you made the team. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
yeah.
Hey,
I mean,
all right.
it's even on the other side of it, because when I started my technology company, I had a coach that I knew and I respected a lot. That he said to me, he's like, "Oh, I didn't realize you were that smart," and I was just like,
Wow. Okay.
"Oh man," And so,
All right, great.
so it's not just the people that's around you in the projects. It's even the people that you've broken bones and played through injuries and and perform well for, and then they still like, you got a psychology company that does it's a technology company that's blended psychology to look at people's personality, building language models. Like, I didn't realize you was that smart. I'm like, oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's not for you. Hey, it's not for you, brother.
Yeah.
I'll say, but I appreciate it though, man.
Well, Richie, man, this has been awesome. I got one more question for you as our wrap up question. When you look back over your life, how you grew up, chasing trains and jumping trains and riding bikes and, making your way to Middle Tennessee State, making your way to the NFL, and now making that transition to real life with, two kids. What are those intangibles that you can look back and say, these are some of my foundational intangibles that's made me who I am today?
I think if you listen well enough and you keep your eyes peeled and you keep your head straight, I think everything you need to know about the direction you're heading is literally around you. I think every sign is there. Listen to the right people that, especially if they've done it before. Just make sure you keep your ears open, man. You got 2 ears for a reason. Just listen. I think just listening is the most important thing you can possibly do as an athlete.
Well, Richie, man, your awareness sounds like is one of those things that's propelled you throughout your career, and being able to hear and listen to what you need to soak up to continue to perform at an elite level. Man, I really appreciate your perspective, the way you have embraced the roles that you've been blessed to be able to do, and now making that transition into real life, man. We're rooting for you. Really appreciate you jumping on, sharing your story. Hopefully someone hears this, maybe one, who knows, hear some of the struggles and hear some of the wins that is going on in your journey that could help them, man. So I really appreciate you. This has been awesome.
No, hey, I appreciate you, Chris.